because we talk about self a lot, right? And probably a lot of people probably don't know what that means in terms of understanding self. So how do you, for you guys, girls, how do you build a relationship with yourself?
Cool being okay.
How do you build a relationship with yourself?
Yeah, so what are the tangible kind of tools in your mind that help you to build a relationship with yourself?
Being aware of self.
Mm-hmm.
Being aware of self, but also knowing that there is no you.
How do you get there? What do you mean when you say that for people who are trying to understand that concept?
We spoke about it. We spoke about it a couple of times in the past, and we spoke about it at the event as well. And I feel like something that I didn't really get to speak on is the fact that I believe that, you know, the ego is your full sense of self. Like, you know, T is your straw man. J is your straw man. A is my straw man. J on paper is the straw man. T on paper, straw man. Like all that character is fiction. It's not reality. So that's not self.
No.
That's a full sense of self, because that's not real, right? So
if we take away your name,
if you take away what you've been named, who are you? That's self. That's self minus self. But there's layers to who you are.
but how do you get to that place of understanding of that?
Wake the fuck up.
So what we're saying is detach from your birth certificate and your name.
Yeah. And ask yourself.
Number one.
And ask yourself, who are you? Matter of fact,
Beyond your name.
what are you beyond your name? And then you start really like getting to the like parts, the unknown parts, because what you know is your name. You don't know anything out of that. A part of healing yourself is a part of understanding and knowing self. And knowing self beyond what you see or what you think you know. Yes, we obviously operate through this vehicle, right? And we've got to like keep this vehicle a certain way, which is kind of like you healing self if you're taking care of it, but at the same time you aren't it. So
Your spirit.
and you're separate from it, which is why it's kind of a bit of a paradox, because that which you operate in, you have to take care of, but know that it's not you anyway. It's just your skin, it's your shell, it's your car, it's your vehicle. And obviously if you have a vehicle, you have to take care of your vehicle.
And the parts.
Right.
Otherwise it won't get you nowhere.
Right. But it will only get you so far. So awareness is key. Awareness above anything else is key, because if you're unaware of the fact, you can't really deal with it, innit? It's just fiction. So
Isn't it? So I'm gonna start where he left off. And for me personally, it started with awareness that I am broken down, similarly like just how you said, in two parts per se. I am one part, but we're broken down, like you said, the body, the outer shell, and the inner shell. And for me, my journey started when I started acknowledging trying to understand, or understand I should say, who I am. And with that, I started looking at, forget the whole, I'm bubbly, I'm this, I'm that. I looked at the whys beyond the what I am, if that makes sense. So, okay, if I'm a bubbly character, why am I a bubbly character? What makes me bubbly? What puts me in a happy state? What do I like and why do I like it? So, all right, so I read, for example, because I find it interesting, but then as much as I find reading interesting, I find certain types of books interesting. And I've realized that nearly all of them that I find interesting are ones that I feel I not seek necessarily, but subconsciously seek knowledge from. And I feel like I'm learning from it, I enjoy it. So I know a big part of me is knowledge. I know that feeling certain types of ways has my soul feeling, when I can say, all right, you know what, my soul feels satisfied, I feel good within myself, then I know, okay, that's part of me. So these small bits that are often overlooked, those are the parts of me. Because if you stripped away my body and you stripped away my name, these are still things I can identify with. And obviously it's not an easy journey. So it's then, okay, now looking at the things that are my triggers. What triggers me? Why does it trigger me? Why do I allow it to trigger me? Is it even important? If this didn't exist, would it still have the same impact? So my thing's very much picking at certain things. So what I need, what I don't need, what has an impact, what doesn't have an impact, and then the whys. Once I've got to the whys, I start getting closer, and then it's like, okay, acceptance. For me, with my own journey, is accepting whether it be the way I am, the things that I don't like, and the things that I feel that are important for me to keep knowing and developing my inner self. And then, like we're saying, self in the word itself, cell is part of your makeup. It's just a small thing that's inside, but there's millions of them, and we're broken down into millions of cells. You've got even if you look at your blood cells, you've got your red blood cells, you've got your white blood cells, you've got the so-called good ones, the bad ones, and some outweigh others. And that's what I started looking at, and I thought, all those ones that outweigh, just because there's more of them doesn't mean it's more valuable or more important than the ones that there's less of. But what does what plays what role? And then I had to look at the connecting dots of, all right, those cells go with those cells that make this, and if they come together, they collide, and this goes wrong. If these two come together, that works. And I started relating that to me.
You get a better picture of self when you spell it as CELL.
Exactly.
Or CELLF. Self. Because as you said,
built up of
cells.
Exactly.
You are cells. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like every night you go to bed, your cells,
you lose cells and you regenerate cells.
And you regenerate and you become.
Which is why we are never who we think we are. Because we're always growing.
We literally are reborn every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new beginning every day.
Effectively, we die every day.
And when you unpack that, I mean, if you knew that, would you move it a little bit differently?
Yeah.
I think you would.
I think, you're right. Get into the building relationship with self. There's always a relationship there. So
whether it's good or bad.
Whether you're tuned in or tuned out is what I would say. So at radio, are you on the frequency that aligns with what you want to manifest in this existence? So I find meditation, the best way to find self is silence.
Yeah,
and not be around
go
nothing.
within yourself.
Maybe tune into nature, be around nature. Sometimes I read, and that helps me to find, it just points me back to me, if that makes sense. So read books that ask questions of myself to start to explore. But I find the most profound experiences are normally kind of meditating. When I've been close to death, that's probably been the best understanding of self, because I understood shit, I'm more than just a body, I'm energy. And since that, I think I've been able to, like, you know when they say manifest, it's like I'm using my spirit to manifest things, but it's like a power.
As opposed to just your brain.
Yeah, like you could think of something and it will just appear and you're like, whoa, okay, so I'm tuned in to certain things. Or I can see like, because I can see myself very clearly, I can see other people very clearly. Because I'm seeing how they operate.
But that's the difference between you thinking with your brain and thinking with your mind. Like,
Yeah.
although we're taught that your mind and your brain is the same, but it's not.
No.
So your mind is effectively like your soul is inside your body. Your brain is the exterior. Your mind is the in, which is why we've got so many different parts to it. So again, like the cells,
you're
you've
right.
got different parts.
Because your heart, mind, I don't know if
your heart and your
anyone
mind are,
understands what I'm saying, but your heart,
your heart's mind.
can put out a different frequency to your mind.
Yeah.
So,
which is why people
like,
say
for
they're often
instance,
torn.
if I think about something deeply in the heart, I will get it so much more quicker than I do it here. For some reason, I don't know why.
Because it's the correlation between. All right, so your mind can go on what you feel that you want, and there's a difference between like a want and a need, and then it's like having, you know, like you could do something because you like it, and then you can do something because you've got a passion for it. And when you say like, this is what I feel like I'm, you know, when you get that, I'm born to do this, this is within me. See, when you've got that, that's your heart thinking, speaking, and doing. So when your mind's just like, that's more of a, I can do this, whereas your heart's like, you're going to do this. So it's a more like defined version. So if you've got them now working together and you manifest that.
Yeah. Plus there's root, so like you have the esophagus and then you have the root. And sometimes you can manifest things from root, which I'm feeling it now in terms of like energy.
Your feet.
And it manifests in a different way in terms of calm. So if I'm ever out of balance in some sense, I will meditate and start from the feet, if that makes sense.
From the ground
like
up.
tuning into the feet, so then that bringing that energy up. But people seem to think it's like you need to do anything. It's not about that. It's feeling. It's just to feel, like tune into your body. This is why you need to be silent and still, because you need to feel what this is. You need to be able to feel the vibration, because you know they say like everything's vibrating.
Yeah, nothing's still.
But if you actually was still, you was tuned in enough, you start to feel the vibration. I can feel it like now on my toes, because we've been that still. But yeah, so, and then there's like, I think having conversations with, or being in the presence of people who are very tuned in, can also help you find self. I've heard lots of people doing DMT, and they have was it DMT or
DMT.
ayahuasca or other things like that, where they
sounds like a place.
it's intentional ceremonies, and they
So for people like me and out there,
I've never had it.
no,
but
what is it?
DMT is like, so you know in ecstasy they have DMT.
Oh, okay, but what's
what do
the
they
other
call
one?
this?
Ayahuasca.
So ayahuasca is a so there's different forms, I think. So there's a smoke one, which you
Is it some
take
form of
close
drug?
and it's a hallucinogenic, basically. But what it does is, we all have DMT in our brains anyway. It just activates the pineal gland, and it does something which basically it removes the matrix, basically.
Okay, so I'm glad you're
Because I've heard it like, I've had people who swear by it, like they've taken DMT and they're healed just by taking this DMT.
Well, what,
stuff.
like once, or they have to do it?
There's once they had a visualization, they saw the difference between the matrix and wherever,
Once you see
and then
it,
they're
you
just
can't
like,
unsee it.
yeah, you're just
Okay.
like, I've had countless people actually tell me, and it is like, because it's the thing is, a lot of the drugs that people take are within us.
Yeah.
They're
They
in
used to
our parts
suppress
of our
us, though.
systems, is why our body reacts to it. The only problem is that we OD.
Yeah.
We OD on
They
everything.
use it to suppress
Yeah.
us, that's why.
So, but with the DMT, they say one dose can make you see everything, and you don't need it again, because you've seen, you can't unsee.
See, yeah.
Once you've seen, you can't unsee it.
So it's your mind's eye that's seeing
You're
it.
tuned in to everything. Like
That's
this
scary,
girl,
isn't it?
like big up my homie. I'm not gonna say her name, but the way she broke down everything to me in terms of religions and all these things from one dose, she was like, "Yeah, I tell you why all these religions are set up, because I saw Shiva, I saw Jesus, I saw." She said it's all real. They're all characters in different universes, and they emerge through the world at different points, and so of course it's all real. But she's like, so they're all true, but then they're not. It's not the one and only, if that makes sense.